Good morning, children. Today we'll start a new chapter, your sixth chapter, virtualization. Let me share the screen with you. Okay, this is your sixth chapter, virtualization. Before we go into your textbook, I would like to explain on my own about virtualization so that it would be very easy for you to understand the reader. So, introduction to virtualization. So, the server that is in your school, all the systems are connected to a server, you know that. So, a server or a CPU that a person uses or an organization or like a school, they are termed as physical computer or a physical server. So when a company needs to use many operating system, now when you go to the IT companies, they have different types of operating systems that they require to use, like the Windows, Linux, and Unix. So and they also require many types of applications. They require more storage capacity. For all these requirements, a single computer will not be able to do all this, fulfill all these types of requirements. So then they have to arrange for more servers or buy many more servers or multiple servers, and they have to maintain it and manage all these type of servers. When they are using all these servers, it takes lots of electricity. Also, even when these servers are being brought and they are not being used, they just lie idle, and it's a waste of money. You can just take what you require um, through other types of means which you'll be learning, and that is called as virtualization. So if you are going to arrange so many servers or install so many servers, it would cost a lot to buy so many servers, and maintenance and managing all these servers would be really a tedious job and also spending a lot of money, and you would be wasting a lot of usage of this electricity. So there are also problems when you arrange this type of setups. Sometimes the server could fail or it would get corrupted. When such things happen, what would happen? You would lose all the important data that is stored in all these servers, in whichever servers just got corrupted. Now, because of all these types of problems and expensive work that is being for the work that has to be done to reduce all these so many servers, there would be many servers and it's very difficult to maintain in a room. To reduce all these many physical servers and to reduce this energy that we are using, the power to use them and to cool them, and also to save the time, the technology that was started was called the virtual technology. The virtual technology was introduced, and this was done through virtual machines. Now, children, uh, we are what we are doing is when you are in the school attending your classes, how is it? You are physically present there, right? But now you're attending the classes from your home. So this is done through virtualization. Like it's a virtual class. You call it virtual class. So virtualization is similar to a virtual class. You're accessing all the different types of like the hardware, the software, the applications, the operating systems. You're accessing it from another machine, which is called a virtual machine. So it's not present in your room, but you're accessing it over the cloud. It's almost compared to it's in the cloud services. So this is what is called as virtual technology using virtual machine. So in a virtual technology, what is happening is you require few servers. Thus with few servers, you spend less time. You don't need lots of servers because everything is done through the cloud or through the net over the cloud, and manual task will also be reduced, and you don't have to spend a lot of money on your maintenance, because if it gets crashes down or if the server fails, then there's lots of maintenance that you have to do. Thus, it's easier to set up an arrangement over the virtual machine. You can access through through the virtual machine, any type of operating system, all types of application and storage, all this can be done over the virtual machine. So it's better than a physical server. So when the virtual machine that is installed, it has many operating systems and applications, and it can be accessed by anyone from anywhere. You'll be learning how to access it in your next class. Now, what is virtualization technology and why it's feasible? Now, if you see, virtualization is a process of creating software-based virtual versions. Okay, it's a virtual version because it's on the internet. Some things like compute, storage, servers, and application. All this is done through virtual versions. So in virtual versions, what are there? Which are done virtually: a server, desktops, storage devices, operating system, network, and resource application are all available through virtualization technology. Okay, you don't have to need all the operating system to be loaded into your computer, and for loading different operating systems, you need many servers. So this need not be done. It can be just accessed through the virtual machines. So virtual machines running on a cloud server is one of the most widely used ways, and they are called as host machines. So the machine that is giving us access to this virtual machine is called the host machine. And so virtualization is feasible. Why is it feasible? Because we have something called the hypervisor. This hypervisor helps us to access to all the virtual machine. So hypervisor is a software. It runs on the physical server or the host. So you can see here, this is the host. On the host is running your hypervisor. Clear? Now, there are different types of hypervisor. I've put many hosts because so many people are accessing to the virtual technology. So I put many hosts, and all these hosts have these hypervisors. Okay, and in these hypervisors, what do is they pull in or they collect all the resources from the physical server, that is your server, and they start distributing it through this virtual environment. Virtual environment is a virtual machines. Now there are two types of hypervisors. They are called as type 1 and type 2 hypervisors. Let's learn about type 1 hypervisor. What is type 1 hypervisor? This type 1 hypervisor is directly installed over the just on top of the physical server, the host server, the physical server. Since it has this type of nature, it's called as bare metal hypervisor. So type 1 hypervisor is also called as bare metal hypervisor, and it is installed directly over the physical server. Okay, and this is very much available in the market, and you will see a lot of this type of hypervisors in the market because it is not, it reduces latency. It has low latency. Low latency means as soon as there is no delay between the user and the web. As soon as you pass on some information, you immediately get the results of this. So there is no delay or latency in this type of now you will see such type of type 1 hyperversions in the market. Most of these are hyperversion ones, and the different types of hyperversions are the VM that you find in market are VMwares, is ASI, and Microsoft Hyper 5, OpenSoft, KVM. So this is for type 1. Let's see type 2. Type 2 is different from type 1. Why? Because between the host or the physical server and the hypervisor, there is a layer of a host operating system. It is between this. So there is a delay in sending the information to the hypervisor for others to access. So delay between the user and user's actions and the web. So there is a high latency. So this is not very much used. All don't access this. It's the end user that uses this type of things. And some of them that you'll see in the market are Oracle, VirtualBox, VMware, and Workstation. So host is directly Host is just directly above the physical server, whereas in type 2, it is not directly over the physical, the hypervisor is not directly over the physical server. There's a layer in between these two. Here. Now, as I told you, virtual machines, how virtual environment is nothing but the many virtual machines that you're using are called the virtual environment. So once you have installed the hypervisor, you can build many you can add many of your virtual machines. So what are these virtual machines? A virtual machine is a simple software-based computer. So they run like a physical computer. Your computers that are at home and in the schools, they run exactly like that. But you are not having the, the machine next to you. It's used over the net. So they have operating systems. These virtual machines have operating system, applications, and they work independently. That is, on each virtual machine, there is one type of software. So if on this you might have Windows, on this you'll have Macintosh, and this Unix, different operating systems will be on different types of virtual machine. So you can run multiple of them in a hypervisor. One hypervisor has so many virtual machine. You can have multiple virtual machine on one single hypervisor. Like that, there are so many hypervisors, and the hypervisor manages the resources that are allocated. So what the hypervisor does, it starts allocating, means collecting all the information, and then sends it to the virtual environment or these virtual machines. So because they are independent, you can just run different operating systems on different virtual machines. So like Windows could run on one virtual machine, Linux on another, Unix on another, because they all are independent and they are portable. What do you mean by portable? You can access, suppose you can take this information. Suppose the program did not work out on Linux, you can just take the same program and try it out on Unix. So it is extremely portable, and you can even move virtual machines from one version to another hypervisors. So if this hypervisor does not work, you can just select another hypervisor and start using all these applications that were available here can be used on another hypervisor. Okay, so it's so flexible and it is portable because of this, and immediately you can just take up all the information that is in this hypervisor can be just taken into another hypervisor. Okay, so it's so flexible and it is portable. Okay, and so looking at all these things, what would you choose? This is all virtualization, and this is how it processes. And because it can just transfer so much of information, you can imagine how good their backup also is. As soon as you feed in any information into these virtual machines, immediately it is backed up. So that's why you're able to transfer all the information from one hypervisor to another hypervisor. You can access it from anywhere. Okay, let's see the benefits of it. It is cost saving. Definitely it's cost saving because you don't need so many machines. So it reduces your physical infrastructure, and you will be saving because you're not going to run machines that will have a lot of maintenance cost, and you have to pay for all the electricity that you're using. Then it's agile and speed, means you can just change from one platform, that is from one virtual machine to another very quickly, as just now I told you. So it's a lot more simpler to access an entire new environment for your developer. So suppose you're a developer, that is your programmer. If he did not, he did the program on one operating system like Windows, and then he does not get a proper result or output, he can just say, you can just spin him to another new environment. So to develop his test, he can try it on different so that you can run a dev test, means a developer test. So you can run the same program into many operating systems to check it out. So virtualization makes the process much simpler and quicker. What is downtime? downtime. Downtime means if any server unexpectedly, if it goes down, you can immediately move to another virtual machine from one hypervisor to another hypervisor. I told you just now. And that is um, which a machine that is working properly. So this shows that it has a great backup plan. So if one host goes down, you can just simply move to another virtual machine very quickly. So or to another hypervisor on a machine that is working. So now what all we discussed till now, this is all the basics of virtualization. I hope you understood what is the meaning of virtualization, how it's working. Okay, so this is real virtualization. I hope you understood. Okay, children, we'll stop, and in the next class, we'll start directly from your reader. Thank you. Have a nice day. Stay safe.